Hi everyone, Ryan Gradwell. I just wanted to reminisce about my alien experience that I've had since March 9th, 2012 to present day. I think today is July 30th, 2018. Alright, so this is my story. The first time on March 9th, I was just laying in bed here. I just looked out my window and I saw over my neighbor's fence a really weird red light that was almost like Kit from Knight Rider. The red light going back and forth. That's what it looked like. And I watched it for like 3 hours and it didn't move and it was just there. The next day I checked on, I think it was MUFON or something like that, and a lady just east from me, the next city over, reported the exact same thing that I was seeing, but she was a lot closer, and she said it was in a football field just above it, and she described the exact same thing. And so that sparked an interest in me to investigate a little bit further. Following night, I seen something different and a little bit weird, but it wasn't enough to really identify what it was. So basically, it just was a UFO. Now, it kept progressing almost every other day that I would see something in the sky. Almost every other day. And it got so much that I was almost seeing something every single night. And I kept it all to myself until I think it was about August when I had my own confirmation, because from March to August I was seeing all sorts of different things. There was like little star UFOs that I assumed was satellites, because it was too high for planes and they were solid stars. They weren't blinking or anything, so there was no FAA flashing or anything like that. So yeah, what really turned me around on the whole thing was, I think it was sometime, I think around August 20th or something like that, mid August in 2012, and I saw the same ships that Carlos Diaz in Mexico in the early 90s, 1990s, that he filmed. And I was just beside myself when I was watching them, because they were pretty far away. They were like a good mile maybe away, 2 miles maybe. But they were mass. There was two of them, and they were massive. And they'd just appear, and then they'd go up diagonally and stop, and then disappear. And as they're disappearing, they would reappear in the sky over here, and then go down diagonally, stop, disappear, and then reappear, and then go up and stop, disappear, and reappear. Like almost at the same time as this one was like disappearing, this one was reappearing. And it was just so bizarre. And there was two of them, and they were both doing it like almost simultaneously. And I watched it for about 15 minutes. And stupid me, I had my camera in my hand, a cell phone in my other hand, and a tablet in my pocket, and I didn't even think to record. I was just so, I kept on thinking I was being tricked because it was just too unbelievable. Like I assumed that it was going to be someone on a bike or in a car or something with some kind of projection machine pointing up at the sky, some kind of holographic machine. That's what I kept on thinking while I was watching it for the 15 minutes, well, for about 10 minutes. And once I realized that no one's coming around to say, haha, I fooled you, I started thinking to myself, okay, well, what if it really is aliens? And I'm really seeing like a real alien spaceship right now. And so I had a thought pop into my head. I'm like, okay. I said in my head to the crafts that I was watching, okay, if you really are alien spaceships and there's really aliens inside those ships, then you should be able to hear my thoughts. And if so, I want you to appear closer. And before I could even think the word fully through, the word closer, it just instantly appeared above me. From like miles away to instantly above me. Blotted out the whole night sky. All I could see was this orangey plasma thing, and it was like right above me, like not even like 50 feet. And it was massive. And I nearly shit a brick because the thing was just so mind-blowing. And it wasn't even, I took off, I ran inside as soon as I didn't even get to fully look up all the way. As soon as I looked up and saw it there, I was like, gone. It wasn't so much the fact that it was over me that low that scared me. It was the fact that it instantly read my thoughts from so far away. And before I could even think the word closer, it was just there. I was like, and gone. Anyway, so that was my breakthrough, my awakening, I guess you would say. So hold on, I'm just gonna light a smoke here. So after that, I thought, okay, I gotta tell somebody about this, because this is gonna be like probably on every single like news channel. I thought everybody in my city would have seen these massive ships, and apparently I was the only person in the whole city that saw this. And if somebody else did, they're not saying nothing. But anyways, so my neighbor across the street from me, this old man Ali, he usually goes out at nighttime. I guess he's like always looking for people's junk and stuff like that they throw out. And so I figured, you know what, if anybody was to see anything at night, he would be the one. So, and me and him always talk all the time. And so I turned, he came out one night after that Carlos Diaz sighting, UFO sighting. And so I turned to Ali and I'm like, hey, you ever see anything weird in the sky? He's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, you ever see like UFOs, like alien spaceships in the sky? And he starts laughing, thinking I'm joking, and I wasn't joking. Like, I was dead serious. And he's like, oh, no, you must be confused. You know, I get confused too. I see planes and jets and helicopters and satellites and drones and stuff. And I'm like, no, none of those. I'm talking about something weird that you've never seen before. And like, you've never seen nothing like that? And he's like, oh no, you're mistaken. You know, you're just seeing airplanes and stuff like that. And right then, this sphere of light, like, I don't know, anywhere from 30 to 60 feet in diameter, just magically appeared behind him, above my building, behind him, facing me, because me and him were talking face to face, and his back was turned to my building, out right in front of us. Anyways, as soon as that happened and it appeared, I'm like, oh yeah, so what's that? And he turns around and he sees it, and his eyes are all bulged out, and his jaw drops, and he's like, oh. And I'm like that. You ever see anything like that before? Because I'm seeing this like almost every night. And he's like, no, oh my gosh, no, I've never seen that in my life. And I'm like, so tell me, is that a plane? Is that a jet? You know, is that a helicopter? I'm like, because I don't think it is. He's like, no, this is, no, shh. He's telling me to be quiet as it slowly like moves towards us, stops right above us, like almost the same height as the ships were a few nights before. And then it slowly proceeds to go into the wind towards the east, down our street, where it just vanishes the same way that the ships were vanishing and reappearing. This thing just vanishes, and my neighbor screams out. He's like, it disintegrated. He's like, oh my gosh, it's a miracle. And he's like, oh, you're going to be famous. I'm like, what do you mean? You've seen it too. And he's like, oh my goodness, it's a miracle. But anyways, so that was my confirmation to myself that I wasn't crazy. Somebody else saw the same things that I was seeing finally, after from March to August. Not one person saw anything with me, and I got so many people to try to come out and see anything, and every time there was nothing. And so I figured, okay, so now that he's seen it, you know, maybe now other people are going to see things too with me, more other people, right? And every night I went out, and still more and more things kept on showing up. I got my son to come out with me, and by the end of August, we must have seen, I think, one or two, me and my son, one or two weird things in the sky. And then something amazing happened, where I thought I was dreaming. I was walking home, and I remember looking at my feet while I was walking, and then next thing I know, I'm what I thought was downtown Toronto in Little China. That's where I thought I was. And I started thinking, wait a minute, how did I just go from Oshawa to Toronto and not know how I got here? And I kept thinking, I must be in like Little China area, like Danforth and Broadview area, you know, around that area. That's the only thing I can conceive was that I was in Little China in Toronto. And I was looking around, and I felt really, like, it felt real, but I couldn't get over the fact that I didn't know how I got from one city to 5 cities over without no knowledge of getting there. And so